Boom, 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 boom. What a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Won't you be mine? Mm-mm. What a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, ba, da, 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 da. Ba, 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 da, da, bum, ba. Ba, ba, da, ba, ba, bum, boom, boom, boom. Ba, ba, da, ba, ba, da, ba, ba, da, da, da. Ba, ba. Here's Johnny. Thank you, Ed. Well, how you all doing, my social media family? Being up any subscribers and our visitors alike to that being on my own social media channel and our chat room. Well, hopefully everyone is doing at least okay, if not bad yet to be said, to be feeling all right. Or if not best of all to be said, to be feeling blessed and stressed, more blessed and stressed, or too blessed to possibly become or be stressed. You and yours, your family and friends, and hopefully me and mine likewise as well are all the same. And some people did not wake up this morning. And the life you say may be your own. Who run the world? Who run your world? Anybody in cyberspace? You're not any clones, are you? Right after? Hopefully not. Bum, ba, 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 ba. Yes, Lieutenant Spock. I knew him well. Bum, bum. And now that I've gotten the preliminaries of the basic intro as an introduction out the way, and the footnotes for that matter, giving you all the cliff notes to either or both. Whereas the present social media content, yes, let's just dive in it, is dealing with a rather controversial subject matter, or a topic of discussion with the many different views and or opinions to be affiliated or associated with and representing the same of the said in question, so far as concerning matters of the likes of, werewolves, seeing a full moon at night, aka the pantys-snatchers. When Seymour hungry as a boogaboo, and not just thinking about with a man's intentions to attempt to stalk, and vamp or prey upon just Little Red Riding Hood, but is attempting to do the same with Snow White, be she herself have a clique of a posse of knights in shining armor of her crew of the Get Fresh boys to make like knights in shining armor or not, But then the likes of some such others of male characters be attempting to, stalk, and vamp upon Granny Goodness, for that matter, thinking about with a man's intentions or mindset, a rather twisted, warped, wicked one, to prey upon much rather instead of praying with her, whereas they would like to, do the funky grandma with many a grandma, and have them do the stanky legs, as they could have them pinned down to bed sheets on a mattress, making them an offer that they can't refuse, getting jiggy with it, like, oh, Granny, you looking good. Giving some such of your younger female or woman rival counterparts, some of such rather severe or serious competition. I'm coming in for the kill. Please don't hurt me, sir, please. I'm not going to hurt you. Just do what I say, and it'll be over and done with before you know it. Although at the moment it may seem like an eternity as I'm going for your jelly and your peanut butter and put it together with my mayonnaise. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Like real life quagmires, you know what I'm saying, you all? And no offense is meant to be, no offense or disrespect is meant to be directed at any persons of past, present, or future sexual assault victims or rape victims. But for some strange reason or another, sure going well, I guess you could say, the God works in mysterious ways. I have had the notion to bring it to your attention, you know, how there is like way too many women and children or whatever races and whatever walks of life, factions, society, lifestyle preferences, and even so boys, not to mention that much more of girls and women who are being made the targets of prey for grown adult male closet sexual predators to attempt to get jiggy with it. This has got to stop, this kind of nonsense. Because when it comes to females, that could be anybody's wife or mother or grandma or daughter or granddaughter or niece, or aunt, etc. I mean, and not to mention even so when it comes to boys being violated, almost as much as females or women and girls. I mean, I don't see how these overgrown perverts of males or men, as they are, of the likes who outnumber their female or woman rival counterparts, could even so much as fathom the ideal or imagine or fantasize about, sexually assaulting or raping women and children, and put their freedoms, their rights and privileges to come and go as they please, or to be at liberty to do so, to risk their chances to live a long and fulfilling life outside of those bars than to risk making their next place of residence as its location to be behind bars in a jail cell, to become their next existence after having committed a hate crime against any woman and children being of an intimate, sensual, or sexual nature. I mean, I think I have at one time or another. I think I did, or if I didn't before, so I do so now. And I'm giving you all the 411 or info on my own personal experience with, those kind of weird thoughts, a desperation to try to relieve some of such sexual frustrations, where I had come so close to vamping upon at least a couple few born and raised female persons represent opposite sex, but then a woman of different races. Something like, a decade or so ago, maybe a decade and a half ago, here it is 2023, West. I was thinking about getting jiggy with it, making them offer that they can't refuse until something or someone or somebody, it had to be God, tell me, this isn't right. Stop what you're doing before you become a resident or tenant somewhere else for an atmosphere, for its premises, properties, or facility where you don't want to be. And whereas that P&J sandwich in one's own personal fridge don't look half as bad as one being of a person would have thought it did before, because when you go behind bars, when you're in jail, you can't do what you want to do, like it's BK, Burger King. When Officer Turnkey tells you to get up in the morning and go to bed at night, you got to do as he himself says for you to do. Otherwise, you may find yourself in solitary confinement, and regardless of whether it's worse than just being in a jail cell with a fellow jailbird, or regardless of whether or not it's just, regardless of whether or not it's just as worse as being in a jail cell with a fellow jailbird, or just as worse as being in the cafeteria with the general population of fellow jailbirds, eating at some such given moment in time with, you never know when all damn hell could possibly break loose, at some such a given moment in time, where tempers could be rising, tensions flowing, about to burst, as so many jailbirds could be walking around like walking time bombs, ready to explode. You know what I'm saying? You never know. You just never know. And I don't have to go there today. I like to think that I practically can't remember the last time I was in jail, or have forgot. No, I practically, if not possibly, can't remember. I have to think rather hard, so that's a good thing, If it would take me some time trying to remember the last time I was in the can or the crazy house, for that matter, you know what I'm saying? I told you all I had come so close to disregard, ignore any interruption you hear in the background. Not making reference to any electronic devices, communication, but any, ungodly, godless, devils, demonic, demon-possessed neighbors from down hell where I'm at now, of more of sickos than idiots, because these neighbors from down here are more creepy than the last ones I have had to deal with elsewhere. So that would make them more worse if they're not so obvious with coming off like bam bam rubbles, with the noise making otherwise, although they would change up with the 2-cent power plays and make of those noises, attempt to throw you off to make it seem like they're not other likes of the worst neighbors from down here who are more creepy in this worse neighborhood. Anyway, getting back to some of such others before I was so rudely interrupted, that was this one neighbor from down here, as you all had heard, attempting to take advantage of the situation to be wishing that my attentions would be so much focused upon some of such others that I'm supposed to sleep his moves or not be alert as I can. Just as long as he stay outside my apartment door, we ain't gonna have anything to worry about. Us, tussling, doing the WWF. But getting back to what I was trying to say before I was so rudely interrupted. I can remember exactly from where and when I last left off my person. But anyway, though, yeah, I think I was saying how I come so close to perpetrating on a fraud, risking my own freedoms. It didn't have to be, From there, subject to experiencing officer turnkey laying down the law to me, telling me what my new existence is and what I'm going to do and what I'm not going to do, because it's not BK, it's not Burger King. You cannot have it your own way, you know. And hopefully, I can't remember the last time I was in either of those two camps, either the can or the crazy house. Then, because that is no joke, that existence. It's no joke. It ain't funny, you know. Imagine, hold that thought. You have grown adult males and men crying like babies, you know, while they're in the can of the crazy house, hoping that they get out soon enough. Especially with this global pandemic as we have it now, you got hardcore criminals and made men and mob families trying to bribe the higher ups to get sprung sooner from those two camps, either the can or the crazy house. So I cannot imagine how is it that certain males, grown adult males, or pervs of men would literally actually act upon those thoughts that come to mind and transform it into a physical nature against the different races of women and children, and not really consider or think about the serious consequences of their actions, what could become the resulting developments of that being of a nature, you know. I mean, you would really have to have some of such issues in your life to want to risk it all. Because as you know, any of the likes of the male sexual predators who outnumber their female rival counterparts and characters of that nature, they cannot look forward to getting a better job or, you know, going to a better school or living in a better neighborhood, because once that was to show up on their records that they have a conviction for sexual assault or rape, then all their chances of doing better goes down the tubes, because once an employer were to find out that you have sexually assaulted or raped somebody else in the past, then the deal is not any longer upon the table to hire you, then because you become a business liability to any corporation, be it a Fortune 500 company or even a small business. They don't want to hire you because they have to think of the general welfare, what's in the better interest of their employees or subordinates otherwise. They get to thinking, how do we know as to whether or not one day, all of a sudden, just out of the blue, you were to decide to get hungry in an intimate, sensual, sexual kind of way, and then think to vamp upon a female fellow co-worker of another employee, how would they know that? So the same could be said for the atmosphere of a school. If they were to permit you to become a student of some or such, and you would think that certain teachers and principals would secretly mention it to some or such certain students that there is a sexual predator upon the premises who had most recently had gotten paroled, and who may or may not have been rehabilitated supposedly. And then from there, all it takes is, it don't really take many person, not even a couple, just one person to hear from another person, and depending on whether or not that person is like a Mr. or Miss Tattletale, you never know how soon that info, that little secret that you would have liked to have kept on the lock and key, of your dirty past, could have circulated just that fast within not so much as for a time frame period of 72 hours or 48 hours, but 24 hours, that being the case and situation that it can or could possibly come and be. Yeah, 24 hours for that matter. Not even so much as 24 hours, but even sooner than that. Before you know it, you will have fellow students looking at you, wondering what's up with you. Practically impossible, wanting to ask you question of, are you thinking about some peanut butter? I ain't got it. I gave it at I gave it to office. Same could be said of places of business. Why are you staring at me like that? Please, don't touch me. Don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. What are you talking about? Have I ever touched you before in a way that would make you feel uncomfortable? What would bring that to your mind? Please don't. Oh, he or she must have gotten word that I've been convicted of. Imagine that. And what would possess a person to attack, assault another person in an intimate, sensual, sexual way without respect to that, without any respect, little if any, respect for that other person's rights and privileges to say no to your, unwelcome sexual advances. You know what I'm saying? Really not. Yeah, I had come so close to getting some of the putty pie of at least a couple, two or three different born and raised female person representing the opposite sex, going about women of different races. But thank God for me. Thank God my lucky star, whatever I have said. Thank God I never acted upon those thoughts. Because, man, I would have been tore up from the floor. Once I would have, from going to the jail, the can, the crazy house, to come out of there and then trying to get situated elsewhere. And once that would have show up on the record, oh, you a known werewolf, or you a known pantys-snatcher. Yeah, you a known werewolf that had vamped upon somebody, like a werewolf seeing a full moon at night. Oh no, we can't handle it. We can't handle this kind of shit. That we cannot have this. We could possibly handle it with a security guard, but we ain't going to let it get that far where you become an employee of this place of business, and then out of the blue one day or one night you decide to vamp upon a female employee. No. We're gonna nip this in the bud. We're not gonna hire you to begin with. Or you could be trying to get to getting school status, and I said, no, we don't want a monster animal like you among the fellow students, especially female students. You may, influence them, or rather, you may intimidate them and make them an offer that they can't refuse, or no, we don't want you for some or such other atmosphere. Well, I think you all get the general idea of what I'm trying to say. Man, when they come out of those camps to the can of the crazy house, they be looking all like, and say if you were to befriend one of them and don't know about their background, their past, but once you find out, they'd be like, why you acting all funny? I thought it was cool, and all of a sudden you being like all standoffish. You don't want to have much of anything to do with me now. I'm sorry, man, but I got to look out for number one, man. I got to think of my own future, because you never know if some or certain male relatives want to get back with a creep like that and bust his head, for having vamped upon some or such a female relative or a wife, as well. It could have probably vamped upon some other male's mom or daughter or grandma or granddaughter or aunt or niece girlfriend, etc., or female friend of one's own family household. You know how that is. I mean, I remember this one supposed so-called homie of one of my brothers. Well, I grew up with him too. But anyway, he went in the can for sexually assaulting or raping or molesting, a female. And at one time, no, years later, when he got out, and I was walking down the sidewalk with him, and then whereas I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt that maybe he had got rehabilitated, but then I get to think, no, I can't hang with this Joe anymore. I can't walk down the sidewalk at pedestrian with him anymore. I gotta pull up from him because I mean, you know how that is. You get to thinking, what if others see me with him and you know and get to associate me with his character, and so forth. I said, I'm sorry, Joe. I told him, I said, I'm sorry, Joe. Joe, so to speak. I said, I'm sorry, but I got to pull up, man. I got some business to take care of. I thought you was going. No, I can't do it, man. You gonna have to find somebody else. I mean, I don't mind helping you out, but I got my own problems. I got some most crucial business matters, being of which is of great importance that I take care of. So maybe I'll holler at you later. Maybe not. That all depends on how much business I got to take care of. That I have to take care of for my own personal survival. So I'll holler at you later. Okay. I'm a werewolf. I ain't got much opportunity and a chance to advance myself. What's in my belly and let the whole world is against me. Please don't you come and get me now. Please come back to that. Imagine a Joe like that holding you by your leg while one's on one's knees on the sidewalk and you standing up. Man. Come on, man. You trying to pull his hands off your leg. Is that what happened? No, it might well have happened. You sound like a bee, man. A bee. Man, you gonna leave me hanging, man? I thought we. No, I can't do it, man. I swear. I swear to God, I can't do it, man. You gonna have to do this on your own, whatever business matter you have on your own, man. I can't help you tomorrow. I got my own business matter I gotta take care of for my own personal survival. And so I just start to bring it to mind, you all, about this particular subject now, topic of discussion. And the life you save may be your own. So if you're getting hungry, you better check out a hee-hoo if you're a male or a grown adult man that's feeling kind of freaky and you ain't got a girlfriend, how much less a fiance or wife. You better check out the hee-hoo strip in the red light district and pay for some such. If you can find one where it's the boys in blue working undercover and pull you over and stick you with a soliciting a prostitute charge and throw your butt in the can for that, or you just better get you a good sex flick and choke your chicken till you can get you another girlfriend. Unless you're trying to get right with God, that'd be the best thing. Not just the best thing to do. Just wait on a virtuous woman or a reborn version of a hoochie mama that could have slept with some of everybody. You never know, because there's more supposed so-called reborn virgins who could have slept with practically and not possibly, and some of them have slept with possibly any Tom, Dick, and Harry who shot down. But then I just thought to bring it to you all's attention. On this last note of interest, I think I'm just going to close out by saying, if you haven't gotten Christ as your own personal Lord and Savior, I will hope that you would think to do so now while the blood is still running warm in your veins, by recognizing and realizing how he himself had faced the music on the cross of Calvary as he was crucified between two thieves at the hands of Roman soldiers up under orders of their superiors, religious, political, militaristic, and otherwise. But then, nevertheless, he went to that cross of Calvary to be crucified and become a lamb God to take away the sins of the world, so that if anybody, regardless of race, walk of life, gender, age, representing not only the human species, the global community within this post 911 era of a new millennium apocalyptic day and age, where the doomsday clock is now at a few minutes to midnight, compared on to our former period prior to him. It was at a quarter midnight for the rather biblically professed time, would have professed some such faith in him whenever we come and be blessed in one regard or another, more ways one. First and foremost, with his salvation, being of which is the only means by which any of us can or could possibly become citizens of the kingdom of heaven. The second of all, with his deliverance. But first, you have got to get his salvation. Otherwise, you have got nothing coming so far as any blessing is concerned. If you make that transition for the afterlife and the hereafter without that blood sacrifice, only fire insurance against the lake of fire down hell, and your final destination will be with the rest of the lost down human souls of unsaved, unbelievers and non-believers, to be tortured and terrorized by the devil and the demons forever, compared to how we as believers in God, as a Christian, aka Protestants, would be across that great divide that separates heaven from hell, and in the company of like-minded believers, and in the presence of God and his angels otherwise. Hey, but then you all take care and be safe, be blessed, not stressed, peace and love, joy and happiness, and I'll holler at you later if and when. And so we out. Peace.